Hello and welcome to the Comedy Slab podcast. This is number 25. We've reached quarter of a century and here we are in the new year. My name is Shane O'Connor and that good-looking fellow there.
Are you pointing to a picture people can't possibly see, which is probably just as well?
Just the bloke behind you I was pointing at.
Oh, right, sorry.
Did you move out of the way,
I don't know who he is. He's been there all evening. Yes, I am Adrian Lacey in the Deep South, and between us we are dissecting a comedy called Pls Like, 2 episodes thereof. I think I've stolen your script, but before we do that... No, after you, sir.
No, go on. I was saying, no, you're more than welcome. You carry on. You're doing such a cracking job. Go on.
Am I less than unwelcome, though? Anyway, well, usually the format is whoever is the sponsor, as it were, of the show, the person who decides, sets the homework for the week ahead.
The picker. I'm far less sophisticated.
I can't see you quite the same way ever again now, Mr. Picker.
Do you mean the picker?
Yeah, I mean the picker, like. Anyway, so you chose it, is what I'm trying to say. I know that, you know that, but do they know that? Actually, that's from a show, isn't it? Is that from the Fast Show?
Well, I know that.
Colin Hunt, isn't it?
The
Office Joker. He's quoting a show. I really am. I've started drifting already. That was going to be my New Year's resolution, to not drift off the point immediately, but sure enough, I have. Do you remember Colin Hunt with the bubbly hair?
Oh, yeah. Isn't he the guy with the Land Rover?
Well, it's played by Charlie Hickson, but it's a different character.
Oh, right.
The Office Joker, funnily enough, is in The Office.
Oh,
not the Ricky Gervais one. Yeah. Anyway, so he's relating. This is, as you know, I don't hashtag name drop, but I did actually work on one episode, and it was one where Colin Hunt is in the office telling Arabella Weir, I've forgotten the character name, but he's relating the story of the show he's watched on TV last night. I'm an alien. Is it ringing any bells?
Yeah, that was the catchphrase, wasn't it?
Yes, but the funny thing is, he's quoting an off-stage, non-existent show, which is actually funnier because you haven't seen it. That's the genius of it.
I thought they were self-mockery because I'm an alien was because that's what people, you ain't seen me, right? And this week I've been mostly, and all the other catchphrase, because that's what the Fast Show was, wasn't it? It was catchphrase comedy.
Ah, right. Okay. Well, yes. Okay. There's an element of setting themselves up. Anyway, there's apparently an ongoing bit of dialogue where I know that. Do you know that? He knows that, but does she know that? Which is really unfunny, but it's funny because he thinks... Anyway, right, what I was going to say, we'll have 3 audio clips, just for the benefit of new listeners, and a special welcome to new and not so new, nearly new listeners alike.
Pre-loved listeners.
Pre-loved, overloved, underloved, all are welcome. Second hand is what you're trying to say. Anyway, before we get...
No. What? Vintage. Vintage is the new word for all of this, isn't it now? Like, we used to go and buy crap from crap shops full of other people's crap.
Can he say that?
And you go in there and you go, can I have that, please? And they go, it's crap. You go, I don't mind, I want somebody else's crap. And you go in there. But now they go, oh, is that vintage tweed?
I could just see you in vintage tweed.
I've got vintage tweed pants on tonight. Actually. I'm not taking my trousers off to show you.
No, or indeed, we hope anyone else. Is tweed the past participle of twee? Yeah. I am twee, he was tweed. No? I should say, for the people who can't see the Skype picture, you're clutching your chest. Should I call an ambulance? Or is it indigestion?
Oh, it's to stop the hairs from rustling on the inside. That's all that is.
Please.
Dear.
Right.
Anyway, where did you get to?
Where did I get to? So we've got 2 episodes of Pls Like from BBC Three to put on the slab. But before we do that, as it's the first recording of the year, do we admit to having pre-recorded Christmas episodes and then put them out a bit late? Slightly. Do we admit to that?
Don't tell him your name, Pike. Yeah.
Okay, we won't admit to that. But anyway, here we are in the new year as we speak. And I just thought a lot... What?
I've been pre-recording them since about September. I don't know where you've been.
I thought it was the world's first live podcast.
Yeah.
Clearly you're not alive. But anyway, if we were to look back over... You say we're on the 25th show, but the previous 24...
Yeah.
What would be your favourite of... Because we haven't even done a full year yet. We've done sort of roughly a half year. What was your favourite of 2018, our first year of podcasting, or half year?
I've got to say, because it's funny you should say that, because I was going to just do a little chart of all the... That's sad, isn't it? A little chart of all the scores that we've given them all. I should have done this as I was going along. Not so sad.
But then I realised I can answer my own question, because you've had an ongoing love affair with a certain Australian comedy actress.
No, I don't think it would be that, actually. I think...
So not Sarah Kendall, then?
No, the one that probably I would say was my favourite, probably, and this will surprise me, was Jake Yap. And I'll tell you what.
No way.
Yeah. Not Jake Yap. No, sorry, hang on. The other guy. What was the other guy?
You don't mean Miles Jupp? No.
The Carnival of Monsters.
Oh, right, Colin Holt.
That
was in the early days of the Slab.
And I tell you why, it's because until you recommended and said you were the picker for that one, weren't you?
I was indeed, yeah.
And until you had picked it, I had never heard of Colin Holt.
Right.
And I remember it well, actually. I listened to, in two stints, I listened to, because it was 2 series, wasn't it, I think? I listened to all 4 of Series 1. And all 4 of Series 2.
It's all or nothing with you, isn't it?
Well, I really enjoyed it, and I really liked his characterizations, and I really kind of got into it. And to me, that was the most surprising one, because all the ones that I nominated, I kind of knew already, and so it would have to be one that you nominated that made me go, ooh. And I think Colin Holt was the one last year that did that. What about you? What are your thoughts?
Good thinking. You'd have thought I'd have planned this ahead, wouldn't you? Except people who know me probably wouldn't think that. I was hoping you'd speak a bit longer on that theme, because I was trying to sneak a quick look at our episodes.
I can talk slower if you want.
That's your party piece, isn't it?
It is, certainly, yes.
Just to prove... No, do some more, please.
No. You made me feel self-conscious about it all now. So.
Okay. I'm desperately trying to... look at the list of... I enjoyed reviewing Dad's Army, because I'd never seen episode 1 before, which they dusted off. That was a revelation.
I learnt a lot on that one as well. I thought I quite enjoyed that one as well.
You learnt how old you are.
I mean, the fact that these are recorded anyway, we can just sit in silence for the next 45 minutes while you think, and we could just take the silence out.
That wouldn't be nearly as much fun. Well, are you saying I'm not allowed to pick one that I picked at the time as the picker, and you the pickee?
No. If you no, that was the way my feeble,
it's not
perverted mind works.
No, well, I mean, I always love Stuart Lee. So we episode 6. I'm just looking back at it on my cheaty phone. Stuart Lee's comedy vehicle.
I did not like that as much as I thought I would.
No, that's putting it strongly for you. Who is America was a revelation. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, just looking down the list, it reminded me when we reviewed Curb the other day, and I know we tweeted it, but a big R.I.P. Bob Einstein.
Oh,
who,
yes.
He played Marty Funkhauser in Curb. Sad loss. And he's 76 as well, so for no age these days to lose him the other day.
No.
Very sad.
Very sad.
Go on, anyway. You're going to pick one.
Well, Stuart Lee so far.
Stuart Lee? Okay.
Yeah. Josh Howie's losing it. Did I... How were you on that one? Remind me how I was.
We gave it a 6 overall.
Right. So you have drawn up this plan.
No, sometimes when I think of it, I write down the number and, I say write down, it's all on my iPad. I mean, that's how technologically advanced I am.
At the cutting edge.
I mean, if there's a power cut, we're all finished, to be honest with you. But
you're not so much in the vanguard of the technical revolution, more the guard's van.
More the guard's van. Yeah. Anyway, shall we get on?
That's what everyone is shouting at their playback devices. Yes. Over to
Please
you. You want a headline from me, don't you? That's the convention.
Yeah. Have you got a headline for Please Like?
Well, it is a bit of a cheat, because this one, as I confessed when you set the homework, it's not genuinely a cheat, but it was a dead cert for me, because I enjoyed watching it previously. And I think I've seen the whole of Series 1, which is unlike me, as regular listeners may know. Don't tend to stick with whole series. So, I was really looking forward to the homework, and it hasn't disappointed, would be the headline. I might, because I was watching it in a more analytical way, I might throw in, a few notes a bit later on, but the headline would be, as good as it always was.
Okay, for those who are uninitiated with Pls Like, it's a mockumentary. Before you throw your hands up in the air, go, none of the mockumentary, that's all we need. I find, and I gave this a great deal of thought actually when watching these couple of episodes. The reason, by the way, that we reviewed 2 episodes is because it's only 15 minutes per episode, a bit like All Bar Luke, which also had Tim Key as a common strand through both of those. But because they were 15 minutes, as we said, we'll do 2. And we did Series 1, Episode 1 and 2. But given a lot of thought, and I don't know how you think about this, but, a lot of people might say, another mockumentary, that is a device, a genre, whatever you want to call it, that's kind of been, overworked now. But I do think it is dependent on what the subject of the mockumentary is. And I think this is a case in point. I really thought, because it was something that was a different subject to ones that have been covered in other mockumentaries, like The Office and all of that sort of stuff, then it works differently. Do you find that? It's I don't get as tired of that kind of treatment.
I think I agree. But what I would say is, and it's probably a testament to how well it was done, I couldn't imagine it being done any other way, or certainly not done better any other way. It seemed very natural. I think, it's the old thing about form should reflect content, ideally. And it just seemed right, because, that is the nature of vlogging, is a sort of, not mockumentary, but it is documenting someone's life as they choose to document it. We can argue about how honest they're being, but so it's that kind of style, and it fits the sort of selfie generation thing, doesn't it?
How honest they're being is one of the mainstay pillars of the whole premise of the first series.
Oh,
really,
absolutely,
is how honest it is, and how easy it is to sell out and that kind of thing. I thought it was deeper than I remembered it was. In its writing, I thought the writing was kind of multi-strand. Let me we're getting carried away, aren't we? But basically, it's about this guy, real name Liam Williams, character name Liam Williams. He plays himself as a comedian who is, by his own admission, less than successful. A struggling comedian, I think the term is used.
Oh, and I love that clip. Am I allowed to throw that in? About
what's that?
We see a very brief clip of him saying to the audience at the microphone, saying,
he's trying to explain it.
It's not meant to be funny. That's the point. Clearly being heckled for being an unfunny comedian.
There are so many great flashes backwards and forwards and clips dropped in and stuff like that. That works so well, doesn't it? But basically, anyway, this character Liam Williams, or the real guy Liam Williams, whichever way, however immersed you want to get in this thing, takes part in a competition. He's coerced to take part in this competition. Basically, look, he actually admitted, I think, in his video when he was drunk, and he said something like, he's doing it for the £10,000. He said, because I need the money and I don't want to get a job.
Nothing if not honest.
Beautifully honest and brutally honest as well. But we follow him. The plot was a bit flawed, wasn't it? Did you get a bit confused with the plot? Because it kind of backtracked on itself.
About the £10,000?
Yeah, where he kind of... he was supposed to be doing it for the £10,000, and then he does it, and then they don't like it, so they put a stipulation on it. But if you go back to when he's watching the video originally, the asterisk is there and the stipulation is at the bottom. And I thought, well, if he would have known, it was, And I thought they kind of tinkered with the plot to try and make it work. That's the impression that I got. I don't know. I might be being disingenuous there, but it's his journey through the world of YouTube, isn't it? Really, and vlogging, and as you say, and all that sort of stuff. Liam Williams, first of all, should we start with him? I didn't know him other than through this. Did you? Have you caught up with him prior to this?
Not knowingly. No.
What a great choice, though.
Oh, perfect. Just this sort of cynical detachment, which works so well. And we'll get onto an audio clip shortly, I'm sure. And I might need you to get us into the clip. Slightly under-researched on that one, forgive me. But I felt that it's quite a brave thing of BBC Three to actually risk sending up the YouTube generation, in effect, because it really is their core audience. I mean, you hope, of course, that they would get the joke, but they are still, to a large extent, the butt of the joke, as are the vloggers themselves, of course.
Oh, have they successfully done that? I mean, it's because I didn't know whereabouts in their transition this was made, but it became clear, didn't it? Because he actually explains to one of the vloggers and says, this crew are from BBC Three, and he said, "Oh, I don't watch old TV," and he said, "No, they're online." And he went, "Oh, right, okay," and he clearly hadn't got a clue that they were online, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how. Because their core audience was like 14 years. I remember we had this conversation with my dad, and he'd say, bloody BBC Three. He said, "There's nothing on there worth watching." I said, "Well, that's because you're 87, Dad." I said, the
slightly out of the target range.
The demographic is somewhere around 13 or 14. That's probably why it's not appealing. But then he would say, "Well, yeah, but I did like so-and-so, Snog, Marry or Avoid." And I think, oh, my God. Here we go. So I'm not sure how successfully they've taken their audience with them. I mean, we'll probably never know, will we? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what.
Well, it got a recommission, if that's any measure, but it doesn't necessarily follow that something has to be a ratings hit to get a recommission. Certainly not early on, like going from first series to second series. Sorry,
I meant BBC Three transitioning from TV.
I thought you meant you transitioning internet. From being a bald bloke. No, it's confusing everything. I don't know. I should know, shouldn't I, being in the biz and doing some work for the B, but not for BBC Three.
Well, they're different measurements, aren't they? So I don't know.
It's the old apples and oranges, yeah. I think there's still a force to be reckoned with, and they're making an impact. I remember, this is the thing, which makes you realise the debate was almost framed for older people anyway. When it was a debate, oh, isn't this terrible? The BBC's talking about getting rid of BBC Three as a linear channel, so off the gogglebox. Yeah. And I was doing some presentation and talking about the Beeb to a group of young people. And one person said to me, I don't know what difference it would make. I've got the iPlayer app anyway. So, it's like it didn't, they were just like that person you've quoted. It's like, she could just have pointed at some sort of mythical, invisible TV in the corner of the room and said, I don't watch that old TV thing. It was of no consequence to her at all.
No, the delivery method is the lines are blurred, aren't they? I guess really in that sense. Should we have a clip? Should we have a quick listen?
Long overdue.
Set a bit of a scene for us. So we catch up with the main character Liam. Liam Williams is on this journey, as I say, to discover what it's like to work in this particular world, but also to get himself £10,000. Now, in the process, as I say, and I love this. What a great! I always like clever names and things like that. He upsets the guy who is an agent for a lot of vloggers called James Wirm, spelt WIRM, which I just
that doesn't that worked. Does it?
That worked beautiful. Did you like his vlogging name as well, Vloggy McVlogface?
Oh yes, and then I got the reference, which I'm sure you did. Did you get why it was so appropriate for him?
In what way? What
it comes from Boaty McBoatface.
Oh yeah, Boaty McBoatface.
It's like one of the. It was a public vote for coming back to the fictional series we're talking about. Pls Like. It was a public vote, and then the people who set up the public vote said, "No, we don't like the outcome," and it was only the outcry that you've sort of referred to that meant he was reinstated. So in that, it's like Boaty McBoatface, which was the most popular entry for this whatever it was, a marine biology research
some kind of vessel, wasn't it?
Yes.
Research vessel or something. Yeah. But
they say that that's not the answer we want. So so we're going to change it. There is something called Boaty McBoatface, which is a little submersible, but it's not the thing that was originally set up.
It's a bit like Brexit, isn't it, really? Well, yes, I managed to do Brexit.
I didn't get that the first time I watched it. I must have been sleeping. Because, yes, it's absolutely about Brexit at the top, I think. Can't prove
anyway,
it.
Liam goes along to the offices of... I can't remember what the company's called.
I can't remember what the show's called now. Oh, Comedy Slab. Yeah.
I can't remember what the company... He goes along to the company that manages all of these
PR
bloggers.
people, yeah.
Yeah, the PR people. He goes to... And he catches up with... he finally meets James Wirm.
Vloggy McVlogface. The thorn in my side. The bane of my life. Welcome to Beam. You met Caroline?
Yep.
Caroline, could you get me half a pear, some granola with banana on it, and a chocolate orange and a fried egg sandwich, please, no butter. Come on, Poppet, down we go. Would you care for a water?
Yes, please.
It is riddled with your friend of mine, concombre.
Cucumber.
Cucumber. The cucumber of the sea, well, no, just normal cucumber. Shall we have a look at your video?
I'll be a little level with you. I need money. I need money because I don't have any and I don't want to go to work.
The winning video.
Yeah, there's quite a few laughs packed into there, sort of incidental laughs, like the colcombre.
Yeah.
And he's about to say
cucumber of the sea.
Yeah. And then it turns out, no, it's not a sea cucumber.
just
Why, oh, why?
I think casting, again, I mean, I know, you know and I know, but do they know?
He knows that.
I'm a massive Tim Key fan. I have been since the first time I ever saw him in anything. I think actually we reviewed the first thing I ever heard him in, All Bar Luke, and I think he just goes from strength to strength. And I just thought the cast, I thought it's the writing, which is Liam Williams actually, isn't it? Although it's not his original concept, he wrote it. The writing and the acting fit like a glove, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And before we get sued, let me point out it's Left Bank Pictures brackets Television close brackets Limited Production, as opposed to Left Bank Pictures, well, they make films as well. That's why the brackets. They make The Crown. Did you know that? He knew that, but did you know that?
But did you know that I knew that? They're another one who had funding from BBC Worldwide. I mean, if I had my way, I think there needs to be an investigation into the way that the BBC is set up and the umbrella of companies and where the money goes.
You're saying this because specifically had BBC Worldwide?
Yeah, it got Left Bank Films. And when you look at the board of directors, there are two companies listed on the board of directors, and I can't find out why that is. But I don't know. It's far from a simple arrangement, shall we say? But yeah, they make some quite good stuff, haven't they? Left Bank Films
or Left Bank Pictures, close enough for James.
Left Bank Films TV, isn't it? Or Left Bank TV Films.
If I said no, I meant to say Left Bank Pictures and then brackets Television. Right, was there a question hovering there that I've forgotten because it's so long since you asked it?
I can't. No, I was saying that the writing and the
I've answered
the
that
writing
one.
and the acting. I just thought
the only thing I have with Tim Key, and I probably said it when we slabbed All Bar Luke, I just find it a bit sotto voce, his delivery, just a little too flat and lacking in energy. But that is his style, and you love it, and I'm sure thousands of others love it. So what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, Tim Key does tend to be pretty much Tim Key in everything that he does, but that's a lot of people nowadays, isn't it? And I think it's a style of acting that makes sure that you don't overshadow your performance with concentrating on doing a wacky accent or something. Do you know what I mean? That's how I kind of come to terms with it, I think, because a lot of people are like that now. They don't do it.
Thing is, with a PR person, I mean, it's easy to go over the top and do a cliche of a PR person, give them red rimmed glasses and braces, which is 1980s callback, or make them massively insincere. Yeah. So I suppose it helped a bit with that in trying to come round to your way.
It was just the dynamic as well. It was like the Liam Williams says at one point, he goes, "What?" It's just after that clip actually. He says, "What's a vlogger?" And quick as a flash, Tim Key goes, "Wowee." And it was like kind of just, it's like, I just can't believe this guy. He's done this and he doesn't even really know what a vlogger is. And I don't know, it was. The only word I came up with all the while was immersive. I found myself really believing the world I was watching. Perhaps I watch too much YouTube now, but it made me feel like I was watching something real.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. Again, that's why the mockumentary style is perfect to accompany it, to tell that story. But I did have coming back to the very people it's sending up and the very generation it's sending up. I did wonder whether actually it's not a BBC Three thing at all. It's actually an older person. So if we're enjoying it so much, maybe your dad at 87 wouldn't be in the front of the queue for it. But I wonder whether it actually is for older people and could have sat just as easily on BBC One or Two.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. I wonder whether people of that generation get why it's funny, get what's funny about it. Although the cast are kind of that generation by necessity, aren't they? So
yeah, and they're playing it well. They clearly understand.
I've got to say, and I mean, this is really unusual for me because there's always somebody that I think, you've ruined that by doing X, Y, and Z, or why did you play it like that, or whatever. I thought the cast I couldn't fault anybody in the whole cast, even with, smaller bit parts or anything. I really thought that, I mean, you were saying about not overplaying it, not clichéing it. Charlie South, the guy who plays Charlie South.
Yes, a vlogger.
He had a real and Millipede as well, the girl who plays Millipede, had a real opportunity to wreck the whole project by going way over the top.
Too big, yeah.
Yeah, and nobody did. I mean, I don't know whether that's good direction. I don't know if that's good casting. I don't know if that's just great individual performances. But did you feel the same, or did you? Was there anybody?
I think I did, and no one let it down. And I think it's all of the above in terms of what you just listed. I think when things go wrong, it could be one of a number of things. If things go right, everything has to go right down to makeup, wardrobe, camera work, and it was all utterly convincing. And right down to the slide that Mr. South had built into his room.
It's the fact that he did it twice, and that Liam Williams doesn't react to it. He goes down this slide downstairs, and then you can hear him come running up the stairs. And anybody else at that point with any kind of self-awareness would see Liam totally unimpressed, just stood there looking at him. Yeah. But he just squeals and goes down again, doesn't he? It's just
that is his world, isn't it? It would appear.
Yeah.
There's no hinterland.
No, no.
And Millipede is his girlfriend. I think they're sort of laying the seeds of further complexity later in the series, because at one point Charlie South, this vlogger, says, "Oh, Millie's being a bit strange or weird," and that's a throwaway, and it goes nowhere in this episode.
He kind of wakes up and realises that the cameras are on and says, "Oh no, it doesn't matter, there's nothing." Yeah. Do you know, that's how I like my one of the complaints I had about The Office was it wasn't documentary enough in its mockumentary. It wasn't, you never saw the cameras, you never saw the crew, you never saw the mics, the booms, anything like that. Whereas with this, to me, it is true to the genre, and you do feel like, it is, it's a real documentary crew following them around. I like that. It's a little thing, but do you have that kind of thing as well? Does that bother you or not?
Well, really? I got very nervous when the mic appeaed in shot, and actually,
you've always been trained not to
exactly.
do that.
You get that little twitch where you remember the sound supervisor used to blip us on the talkback, and it would just be a beep, and you knew instantly what it was about. He didn't need to say anything. They just meant, get the heck out of the shot. But that aside, yes, a bit of extra realism. Although that never worried me about The Office, since you mention it. I just accepted that was part of the style and the premise.
I don't know why they did that. I mean, I never really got to the bottom, or I've never heard Ricky Gervais talk about it or Steve Merchant talk about it. I don't know why they didn't. They played to the cameras.
Did they play as if it was cameras plural? I was trying to think. Not having seen it for years.
I can't remember, but at times they would play to the camera, and then at times they would play to like the fourth wall, and it wouldn't be consistent. It was just like a little bugbear that I used to have about it. I mean, relax, Shane. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, The Office is still genius. So yes, relax, Shane. What was I going to say about that? That touched off something else.
I wanted to ask you actually.
Yeah.
You work in London regularly. Do all office buildings have slides now? Because Tim Key's office had got a slide as well. As he pointed out, it wasn't as much a slide, more of a rubbish chute.
That was a nice throwaway.
Throws his coffee cup down there, and that was it.
Well, someone does say this is like Google. Is that James Wirm says it, or someone says it at one point?
Yes,
and I'm reliably informed that. I don't know about shoots and slides, but and I haven't been there. I'm waiting for my invite, but I'm probably, too old to be allowed into the Google building. But I'm told it's all fun and games and jolly japes and cushion. What are those? The cushions, thingy bags, bean bags, or something like that. Yeah, it'll be table tennis and all of that.
Yeah,
but that's how they do
rubbish
things.
in any scenario.
I can't imagine that would help the creative process necessarily, but I suppose it's meant to get you out away from your screen ever so briefly, so you can go back with more award-winning ideas.
If I ever had a choice between a pool table and ping pong, it would always be pool. In fact, I tried to convince my wife that we should have. You can buy dining tables that you take the top off, and they're actually pool tables.
Cool tables.
Yeah, cool tables. That should brand them as cool tables.
I think I will.
But that didn't work anyway. She wasn't keen on it, so.
Moving on. I think we should get to clip number 2 because we took so long to get to clip number 1. We're a very patient audience.
Good point. And I chose this one. Actually, it was something we mentioned a few moments ago about the supporting cast. Because I think this is quite illustrative of just how good the rest of the cast are. As we mentioned, Liam, in part of his quest for the £10,000, has to do. Is it 6 challenges he has to do?
Yeah, which handily is a six-parter.
So he has to do these 6 challenges. He's done number 1, which was make an introduction video for his channel. Hi guys, he said you have to have a YouTube voice, don't you, in order to do that. His second challenge, as we hear here, is to have a makeover and do a kind of beauty makeover video.
I have enlisted the help of expert beauty and fashion vlogger. It's Chloe Sass.
What's up? If you ask me, I think beards are the worst. So this is Sensitive Day Cream. For a long time I was actually using the Insensitive Night Cream, which I would not recommend because that did cause me to have nightmares.
So you're Chloe?
Yeah.
Good to meet you. Sorry?
I just made a noise.
Yeah, well, it's great to meet you.
Chloe is a really great vlogger, okay? She has nearly as many subscribers as me. How many subscribers do you have again now?
700,000.
700,000? That actually isn't nearly as many as me. Like, sorry. It like is, and it isn't loads, if you know what. Does that sound really rude? Let us take a selfie, please, babe. Can you take a selfie of us?
Yeah, sure. So do I do it, hold it?
Ooh.
Is it that way?
Sorry,
around that.
Yeah, can you take a selfie of us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a photo.
This is where actually I'm going to have to backtrack a bit. Calm down, dear. I wasn't convinced that people of that generation would say, as we just heard them say, can you take a selfie of us, meaning take a photo with you at the camera and you not in it. You'd never do that. An older person would. No, they wouldn't.
I've heard young people say they can take a selfie of us. Yeah.
Not meaning a selfie. Oh,
No,
that's weird. I can imagine an older person the old person,
the old person
making that mistake. Anyway, apparently you were telling me while I was playing, which is rather annoying because I couldn't hear it. It's got your favourite line of the whole two Essipodes. What is it?
There's two actually. The girl who plays
Chloe Sass.
And I've never heard her before. Yeah, Chloe Sass, Lolly Adefope, I think her name is.
Right.
And she, I looked her up. She's done quite a few other things as well, like small parts. But that's where you start your acting career, isn't it? Get your acting chops, really. But it's two great lines she had.
Try and contain thy mirth.
And she says, "You eat a lot of cheese."
Spoiler alert. Are you going to get through this, or do I need to help you?
Skin and she said, "Your breath." I was howling at that.
And because she was doing his makeup, she was very close to his nostrils.
God, and again, she played it so perfectly. I thought. I mean, it was just the right tone, just the right amount of enthusiasm. She was talking about at one stage she was using sensitive day cream. She said, "Make sure you use the sensitive day cream, not the insensitive night cream, because that gave me nightmares."
As opposed to all his cheese, which would give him dreams, I suppose. Actually, I'm going to pick slight fault with that. We knew that something was going to go wrong with the face cream, didn't we? So that seemed a little obvious. Perhaps I'm being too picky, but
no, I think again, I mean, there's been some horrific accidents and incidents, hasn't there? People making vlogs and taking selfies of themselves and falling off cliffs and all that kind of stuff. And I think, there's that kind of, because he's going, no, this is really stinging. They go, yeah, it's supposed to do that.
Means it's working.
It's working, which is the standard answer to anyone who hasn't got the stuff on their face, isn't it? Yeah, that's supposed to do that. It means it's working. So I don't know. The only thing I was disappointed with was the makeup afterwards, like the special effects, rather than, I think it would have been funnier if his face was kind of like a really bright red or
uniform.
They kind of put like he got scabs or he was picking at it or whatever. And I thought, that was kind of let down. But I mean, it was the budget thing, I suppose, isn't it? With that, I don't know.
Well, that would probably be a direction thing, because ultimately, any department has to follow what directions are. Although, directors vary about how involved they get in makeup or lighting and commenting on it, but some are very hands-on, some are more relaxed to kind of outsource it. Obviously, the actual work's got to be done by the respective craft professionals, but...
it just looked like they'd plopped a bit of jam on his face, I thought.
It seemed a little over the top, considering it was sort of burning, but then it's comedy, so it's exaggerated. Perhaps we should chillax, you and me, once again.
I think all I'm saying is I think you could have got a bigger laugh out of that if you'd have done it. If you'd have done it in a different way, maybe, I don't know. Again, I just some of the throwaway stuff, and it was because we've said to people before that we generally watch these things twice, don't we? Just we watch it as a viewer as you would, and then take notes on the second pass is what I normally do. I think it was Chloe Sass said, she said, "I'm just looking for something, trying to sort his face. I'm just looking for something to try and balance out the rattiness of his."
That's a lovely term.
And it's just almost like glossed over and moved on, and it's the confidence in the writing, isn't it? It's the confidence that, don't worry, that's because there's going to be another laugh along in a minute, and we'll have another situation, and it's going to be, it's going to continue like that. That was the impression I got. Was there's a real confidence about the thing. Have you ever worked with the guy who created it, Ollie Cambridge? Have you?
No, I was just going to mention him because he plays a character, Ollie Wicks. Not in that one, is it? No, it's
a bit later on, doesn't it? I
Fitness,
think. Is it in that series? I think.
Yes.
Unusual, isn't it? He was the creator, and yet Liam wrote the script.
Yeah. Well, Was it you?
It's not unheard of, is it?
No, it's not unheard of. And of course, sometimes you just try and slot things in just so people get credited somehow. It could have been they both dreamt it up in a pub over a pint together. One day you go off and write it, and Ollie said, "Oh well, this is the shape of it."
And Ollie's got a really good
there with a pint. Yeah. Was it you telling me? I'm now forgetting who tells me these things. That there's a series that I think we reviewed it was written by a team. Yeah, you did tell me. Is this Silicon Valley, where each episode there's one credit for a writer, but every episode is team written, and it's just so everyone gets their due, so they get their cut of the cake in terms of royalties.
Oh, I don't know if I told you that.
All right. Well, I've certainly heard that. Yeah, I've heard
I'm
that.
certainly going to take the credit for it.
Well, I'll go 50-50 with you on that one. Right, shall we go to clip numero 3?
Yeah, final clip for Pls Like then. And I mentioned Charlie South. Again, I just love this scene. It was great. It was really well done. The writing and the acting with this. Charlie South, as all good vloggers would, he's having a scent made up for him, and it was voted for by the viewers to his channel. And I was going to say something then, but I don't want to ruin it.
Don't
people listen to it. But this is the moment where Liam goes with Charlie, and they go to get first sniff of his Charlie's brand new scent.
Right, you tell me to tell you about the scent.
Tell me about the scent.
Right, so this is my new scent. I'm super excited about it. It's called Smell of the South. All my subscribers had to suggest different fragrances to go into the scent.
Sure.
Do you want to read them out?
Do the honours?
Yeah, you do.
I'd love to. Okay.
I feel nervous.
So
stupid.
The scents that are going into Smell of the South. Do you want a drum roll?
Nah, it's fine.
Everyone's different. Okay. Are as follows. The first scent in the aftershave will be oak.
Nice. Sort of like manly smell. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The second scent, joining oak in the aftershave, will be hogs.
Okay. Like a hog roast.
Doesn't say hog roast, it says hogs.
That's quite manly as well, isn't it?
A hog is
What's
a
this?
male pig. Okay, and the final smell to be in your aftershave will be CK1 aftershave.
Okay, nice.
Okay, let's give it a smell.
Yeah, let's give it a smell.
I'd love to smell.
Okay, you ready?
Absolutely.
Clear your lungs.
Beautiful smell.
Oh, that's car.
Is there a chemical in the top of the bottle or something? You have to clear the pipes through, maybe.
Okay.
Ah, that's worse! It's hogs! They've captured the hogs!
So not a hog roast at all, just plain hogs. Again, I suppose we could see that coming, but I actually like the CK1 thing, which kind of negates the whole point anyway.
Brilliant.
It just shows how inventive their public are.
They've captured the hogs. What a wonderful line that is.
Excuse me. We'll be quoting that for years, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close to doing the star rating. Can I just say that obviously we're an audio podcast, but I thought the visual acting by the guy playing Charlie South, I couldn't help feeling there was a bit of Ricky Gervais stroke David Brent in there, but the awareness of the camera, and you can tell it's going through his head, how is this going to look on camera? And I've just been slightly compromised by what the Liam characters said. Oh, that doesn't quite fit with the brand and all of that. Yeah. Beautifully done, not overdone, but just right to make you realise he's so brand aware and brand sensitive.
Liam, I don't know why I thought, maybe it was the name that confused me. When Liam Williams, when I first started listening to him, I thought he was Welsh for some reason.
Well, yeah, Williams would suggest that, but
he's a Yorkshireman, isn't he? And then the more the series goes on, the more he reminds me of a producer I used to work with, who was from Leeds. And that last bit there, he just sounded exactly like the guy I used to work with. He was, it took me right back down memory.
Did he have the same cynical detachment, or was it just the style of talking?
Yeah, he did, and beautifully so, because I love that. I mean, I can't bear this kind of overdone. In fact, is it Millipede or somebody says they didn't realise that? Millipede said, I keep asking myself, is anyone going to like me if I'm just sad all the time? Like that, you're not allowed to have any emotions other than sort of blind euphoria. And I always used to come when I worked in local radio. This always used to come up against this, and people would say, "Oh, you've got to be positive, or you don't be negative all the way." I think, well, don't have an opinion is what they really mean. And the world, that's what depressed me about the world of YouTube, although there are a number of people who've kind of diverted away from that path now. But when it first kind of started, because the people who were successful were like, "Hi, guys," doing all that kind of thing, everybody followed down that route. Yeah. Which I find really like desperately bland and unreal. And, that's why the term, I'm real came about, I think, was because there were so many people who just weren't. But, yeah, I tell you what I say. The other thing as well is the way that the whole thing is put together. I thought was beautiful as well. The more you watch it, the more you realise the way that they interweave audio and the clips and the music and just the whole tapestry of what they produced. I thought the production ethic to the whole thing was fantastic, and it was only something. If I hadn't watched it twice, I'd only got picked up on that. You just would have accepted it for what it is.
Yeah, yes, it motored along. Apart from anything else, because if anything didn't quite land for you, well, blink and you miss it anyway, because there'll be another gag, as you sort of hinted at, very soon. So yes, a very confident, strident package, if I may say so.
Just as a final point, do you think the 15-minute slot helps it? Helps with pace and writing? Is that you cram more in?
Well, again,
you do more with that time.
It might be doing younger people a disservice, but it might be playing more to the younger attention span.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know, because you might find that pace a bit wearing for half an hour. I don't know, but it was certainly livable with for 15 minutes.
We just kind of make these programs, though, in arbitrary half-an-hour chunks because, that's how it fits in with advertising on TV. I mean, those rules don't apply anymore. I just wonder whether, fast-paced or faster-paced comedy could benefit from 15-minute episodes. I mean, it's interesting because the All Bar Luke thing that Tim Key was in that we reviewed before was 15-minute radio pieces. I don't think they were what you would describe as fast-paced.
No, quite the reverse.
And I think that would really struggle as a half-an-hour episode. I think just listening to one person, I think, would be quite difficult. But there you go. Anyway, it's time, isn't it? Is it time?
It is that time to give it a star rating out of 5 each, and then one of us will attempt to do some complex mathematics and crank it up to stars out of 10. Do you want to go first, Padre?
I'll short and sweet. I loved it. Rarely have I laughed so much. I'm going to go back, and not only am I going to devour the rest of Series 1, but I'm going to go and get stuck into Series 2, which is out there now. 4.5.
4.5. Wow.
4.5. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people call me crazy.
Yeah.
But
I thought that was going to be the start of a lyric. Oh, call me crazy. Anyway, well, there are many songs with crazy in, including the song Crazy, funnily enough, by Seal or Adamski.
I should have said, you may think I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Yeah. It had a bit of a Lennon-esque feel. But as ever, we digress. I'm going to give it 4 stars because I'm a little bit meaner than you overall in everything.
I didn't think you'd give it that much, actually.
No, it was hovering between 3.5 and 4, but I went with the gut feeling because I think it just works as a whole strong piece. And yeah, good on.
What's it? 11 3/4 by my calculations.
Out of 10. That's very clever.
God, to change the batteries on this thing. No, 8.5 out of 10. A very respectable 8.5 out of 10.
Very respectable.
What a great way to start a new year of the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Is it that time for homework?
It's over to you, big man.
Yeah, I am going to take us back to pure stand-up comedy.
Oh.
Actually, I'll say that. Has it got any mini sketches in? I've managed to forget since I last listened. I've got to watch this one because it's getting to the end of its iPlayer run, iPlayer stroke BBC Sounds. Have you heard of the American Jewish stand-up? I only mentioned his Jewishness because it's quite instrumental to his style of humour and references. Alex Edelman.
No.
All right.
I feel so behind the plot when you pick one because there's like another one and I've never heard of it.
That's fine. That's what the show's about. And it neatly covers up the fact that I hadn't heard of him before I heard him on Radio 4.
Rocker.
Shh, don't tell anyone. But anyway, again, he's sort of millennial age. So, in other words, a little bit younger than us. And in fact, I don't think it's this one, but a previous series was called Millennial, I think. Anyway, this one, the series is called Alex Edelman's Peer Group. Edelman spelt Edelman. I'm sure he's out there in YouTube land if you have any difficulties, if you're outside the UK or you're listening to this years later. And it's not available on BBC Sounds or whatever replaces it. The episode I'm going for only has a title rather than a number, and it's just called Personal. And it's in Series 2 of Alex Edelman's Peer Group. So first going out on BBC Radio 4. As we speak, you've got a couple of weeks left, but by the time you hear this, the clock's ticking, so don't hang about.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy that. But I've actually got past the stage where I'm going to even attempt to guess whether you like it or not.
Well, you never know, do you? I mean, it's whatever grabs you at the time. And I think that's the wonderful thing about comedy. That's the thing we're learning is that it transcends all other barriers. I think comedy, any other inbuilt prejudices you might have, or whether you think you don't like things, and all of a sudden something will come along and you'll think, oh, am I going to like this? And wham, between the eyes, you think, wow, that was great. It was fantastic stuff. So I'm always prepared to be surprised. So looking forward to giving that a whiz. Can I just mention, please, like as well, if you want to give it a try, because that is online, as Adrian said, because it's BBC Three. All of the episodes are available online, and I've put a link in our description through to Series 1. And if you get to the landing page of Series 1, I think you can follow the links to Series 2 as well, or you just type it into your favourite search engine.
For once, I'm tempted to actually go for the full second series. I saw in a review, and it was only the headline of the review, I read no more than that, it goes darker in Series 2, so that actually I find that strangely alluring. And you might too, knowing your darkish humour.
It's not only that, it just goes back to what we were saying about the great writing as well, and multi-stranded writing, and the way that they're starting to be. You mentioned that they're building things into it, and you kind of think, I don't know, it's very watchable, very watchable. It's just a shame it hasn't, in a way, it hasn't maybe got a bigger audience. I mean, I don't know what the audience is for BBC Three, as I say, but you do think you'd like it to have a bigger audience. Anyway, that's all we've got time for on this podcast. Thank you so much for being with us. Don't forget, if you want to catch up with it, you can, and previous episodes as well, on YouTube, Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Oh my word, we're everywhere. I'm sure that if you go and have a look in the freezers at Iceland, there'll be a couple of old episodes right at the back by the old mangy beef burgers.
Aisle number 2, if I'm not greatly mistaken. Am I allowed to reference? Actually, I should quickly reference. You didn't say Twitter and Facebook, or did you?
No, I didn't. I just
off
did
there.
Yeah.
Social media.
Thanks for that. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
I've heard it all before, I think. At Comedy Slab on Twitter and also Facebook. So if you, funny enough, I can say please like, which is the whole point. They're obviously sending us up and our like, if you'll pardon the pun. Am I allowed to give a mention to, it's not strictly speaking a rival podcast, I think it's a complementary one. Yeah. Because if you like dissection of comedy, and if you've got this far in the show, we have to hope you do. My little discovery, thanks to a mate of mine, an actor called Richard Sutton, or Rich, as he is to me, which is rather an ironic name for him, given he's an actor. Most actors I know aren't rich. But anyway, he's recommended Rule of Three, which is an old kind of formula for writing a gag. You know, you set up, bang, and surprise someone with the third element, which is why they got a banana skin on their graphic. Anyway, it's put together by a couple of writers, so they absolutely know what they're talking about. They're TV and, I think, radio writers. And what did it for me, a Christmas gift, which keeps on giving, is their dissection of the 1977 Eric and Ernie Christmas show, because actually it wasn't called Morecambe and Wise, funnily, that year. And they had none other than Neil Forsyth. Stick with me on this. You can always replay this because my sentences are so long, and play it back and try and make some sense out of it. But anyway, Neil Forsyth wrote the one-off drama that's been repeated recently about Eddie Braben, who was the comedy duo Morecambe and Wise's key writer. Star writer who really made them. So absolutely fascinated. He's done his research. Neil Forsyth obviously had to for that brilliant one-off drama, which may still be just about available on iPlayer TV as we speak.
Okay, catch up with that and catch up with all our other episodes. And I tell you, you're going to have time to do anything else, are you? When you've got through all that sort of stuff, eh? Well,
you can have it playing while you're doing the washing up or the ironing.
That's it for us then. We will see you next time round when we will be reviewing, what was it called? Alex Edelman's Peer Group. See, I do pay attention. I do write these things down. I just can't read my own blooming writing. That's the problem. And so from me, Shane O'Connor, sorry about the smell of cheese.
And I'm going to say, bye, guys.